he has done in terms of being responsive to the citizens in our community. So I want to just give him a round of applause one more time. And again, I guess like that, before I take my seat, I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming out this evening, because this is what makes government work best. When the citizens come out and be heard and give us the ideas. I remember, and I'm sure the county executive remember, I remember having budget hearings at the county council where I was the chairman at the time, and I said, do we have with $4 billion? And we did not have one person, not one person in the audience felt the need to stand up and say anything. So hopefully we won't have that problem anymore. And thank you for coming out. Your voice is important, and everybody else in the government is riding on your shoulders. So this is what makes governments best. And I want to thank my staff for being here. Thank all the other agencies and department heads for being here. And thanks a lot, and we look forward to hearing from you, and God bless you. And next, thank you. And next, without further ado, I'm calling out County Executive Johnny Olszewski Jr. to come up and say some words and go through his presentation. And we look forward to hearing from you. And everybody know me.
I knew it was coming. About another round of applause for Councilman Jones. Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be with you here in District 4. I want to thank Councilman, I'm so used to saying chairman, you've been chairman for so many terms, Councilman Julian Jones for his partnership, for supporting those historic but important appointments, for supporting the legislative initiatives that I really think in partnership with all of you have moved our county forward. We are proud of the ways in which we've engaged with all of you. We are proud of our accomplishments, and I think this town hall series is really a reflection of that. So Julian, thank you for your leadership on the county council. I know you're one of our veterans. You're one of the trusted go-to guys when an issue comes up. You bring a lot of historical knowledge, and appreciate your support of what we've done along not just the Liberty Road corridor, but with our schools, with our parks, a lot of which we'll cover tonight. That's only done in partnership. It's done in partnership by having someone on the council who is willing to, again, support our budgets, support our personnel, and work with the community. And so all of you are critical partners in that work too. Julian also mentioned our outstanding administrative officer, Stacy Rogers. I want to thank her and our incredible team of directors and deputy directors and folks who are all here. Thank you, Alonza, and the Department of Community Engagement for all the work that you do to put these on. Hopefully, if you haven't had a chance to talk to a department or someone you're interested in connecting with, they're here. As we talk through your issues tonight, we can also make those connections. You know, I could probably spend an entire presentation just talking about our accomplishments, but really, again, I think it's rooted in that connectivity to the community, whether everything from these town hall series to the Office of Community Engagement to creating 311 to comprehensively and bipartisanly closing an inherited $81 million structural deficit, a lot of investments in schools and open space, and really proud of what we've done. Not just what we've done, but also how we've done it. We've done it together. Tonight we're talking about the budget, so let's do a quick budget boot camp overview. As the councilman said, we're talking billions of dollars are spent every year, but let's put that money in context a little bit. There are two budgets that the county council considers that we put forward. One is the operating budget. That's all the day-to-day operations. Those are the salaries and the benefits of our employees. Those are the pensions. That's the health care. Those are our contractors with whom we partner, and also things that we call pay-as-you-go, which also then goes into the capital budget. And the capital budget is all of the construction projects. It's the roads, it's the sewers, it's the schools, the community centers in which we stand. And again, thank you, Director Smith. and the department for having us tonight. But all of think construction dollars. On the operating side, primarily the biggest drivers of those operational dollars are property and income taxes in that $4.4 billion budget that we're currently operating in. Over multiple years, it's about a $3.2 billion capital project. That is primarily funded by those bond initiatives, those referenda that you all vote on, and you'll vote on again this November, where it will say, will you authorize the county the right to go borrow this money for the purposes of construction? In addition to those bonds, we also put some cash into it. We take some of that pay-as-you-go funding, which are just additional operating dollars to further bolster some of our capital investments. We've done historic dollars in that because we've really had some surpluses that we're putting back to work in our communities. In addition to our budget, we've also been very lucky to have the American Rescue Plan that was passed in Baltimore County. We were awarded $160 million. We are responsible for designating or obligating that money by the end of this year. So by December of 2024, we have to have all of that assigned and pushed out. It has to be spent sometime after that. We are 99% of our way there, investing in including things like the grocery store at Milford, and really excited about the ways in which that equity funding from ARPA is supporting projects like that here in District 4 and across Baltimore County. So what does all this mean for our communities? I talk a lot about education. It's one of the biggest things that we spend money on. It's about half of our budget in Baltimore County. Councilman Jones and his partners and colleagues on the councils have been consistent supporters of our budgets that have been year after year after year, record-breaking for education. I want to say Dr. Rogers has been a great partner this year. I'm excited about her leadership of the school system. Also want to thank all of our partners in the school ecosystem. This year's budget is the largest single dollar, by both dollar and percent, increase in what's called maintenance of effort. The state every year gives us a bare minimum that we have to fund education. Every year we've gone significantly over that minimum. This is the largest increase in the county's history, $71 million above what we're obligated to spend. It really has equipped us to take a holistic view of education. We've hired additional counselors and social workers and paraeducators. We're investing in and partnering with Dr. Rogers and the school system to implement the requirements of Blueprint in this year's budget with those 41 new pre-K paraeducators, 22 new full-time pre-K positions. We're also investing significantly in our English as a second language, 36 new teachers in this year's budget alone, helping our young people learn English. We have put forward $1 million for teacher diversity scholarships so that in addition to the county government looking like the communities we serve, we also want to make sure our school systems and our teachers and our young people are seeing teachers who look like them and have similar lived experiences. Look at the school construction. This is that capital side. There's $210 million in this year's current budget for school capital construction. And that really means everything from new school upgrades, community schools, maintenance systems, and that means a lot of money for D4. So this year, $80 million is going to a brand new construction of Deer Park Elementary School. $75 million is going to a brand new Scotts Branch Elementary School. Tens of millions of dollars more for improvements on roofs and upgrades at elementary, middle, and high schools across the district. But real significant dollars in this year's budget coming back to District 4 to improve the condition of the conditions in which our students are learning. We don't stop at just K-12. We think about higher education as a priority too. Very proud that as long as we've been in office in partnership with Councilman Jones and his colleagues on the council, we have worked with Dr. Kurtinitis and the Community College of Baltimore County. If you are a county resident, your fees to be a student have been frozen for all 5 years that we've been in office. Just last year, we went even further and above and announced a college promise scholarship, where it's near universally free for Baltimore County families. Any family making $150,000 or less can attend your community college for free. I do want to flag that in the proposed budget this year from the state, there is actually a proposed reduction to state funding over what was originally projected. This is part of, I think, the governor's approach to trying to deal with some structural deficits at the state level. So we are working with Speaker Jones and the incredible team that we have here in District 10 to really share our concerns. And I will say the Speaker and the Senator and delegates here have really been receptive to not just this, but some transportation concerns that we've raised as well, and they are leading the charge there. In addition to CCBC, we're also investing significant dollars in our library system. Our budgets continue to support books being fine-free, so if you have a late book, it's okay, just take it to the library. We've actually seen that going fine-free with Sonia and her incredible team, hi, Madam CEO, that this has actually really opened up the doors to having new people come in. And so in addition to supporting that, other great programming that the library is doing, we're also putting forward tens of millions of dollars of renovations and improvement, including a lot of money in this year's budget over to the Woodlawn. There's money for Randallstown, and hopefully we'll have some exciting news that we're not quite ready to share, but we're working on even more ahead in our library systems in the year ahead. On public safety, I want to thank Chief McCullough and his team for the work. This year's budget has not only historic pay increases, but also money for take-home vehicles for police officers who live in Baltimore County. So as I'm sure you can all appreciate, there are some delays with the production of cars and vehicles, but as that program is being rolled out, you will start to see more and more police officers who serve you and live in our communities having those cars and having that presence to further support the work. We're also putting forward money for, again, replacements of roofs and improvements to our precincts. The investments in the work that all of the men and women in our public safety departments are doing is paying incredible dividends. Just looking at homicide rates, for example, we're down 15% compared to last year and almost 50% compared to 2021. We have some of the lowest rates of crime in not just the entire region, but also the state. And I think it's a testament to our department, but also to the partnerships that we have with community. In addition to police, we're also investing in fire dollars this year to help the Randallstown Fire Station. We put forward additional funding for our volunteers in the revolving loan fund, other fire stations across the county, and we look forward to continuing to support them in the year ahead. We're also investing in sustainability work, almost $10 million for water restoration in District 4. We have $4 million for streamlined stabilization countywide, and we're doing a $500,000 floating wetland pilot, which is, I just had a presentation, it's really exciting stuff there. We're also expanding textile and electronic recycling, and really proud of what we've done with Operation Retree, going into communities that have been left behind in terms of their greening. You know, a lot of our older neighborhoods, there's a lot of disparities in terms of socioeconomic communities and just disinvested communities. And so we're going in and we're planting trees in those places. It helps improve property values. It improves air quality, and it's really good for our community, so it's been a really successful program there. We're also investing in water infrastructure, $11 million for infrastructure along Liberty Road and throughout the Randallstown area. And then we have lots of money for parks, almost $64 million, including both a new splash pad, which is on its way to Northwest Regional. It will be a great complement to the work that we did to land a destination-themed Ravens playground. It's a crowd pleaser. If you haven't checked out the Ravens playground, it's a great one. I'd recommend checking it out. Also money at Hannah Moore Park, Diamond Ridge, Rockdale, and Carriage Hills Park, really spending money, again, across all of District 4. I would say we're also putting millions of dollars to renovate, replace athletic fields. We have over $850,000 for upgrades and improvements to this center and the aquatic center. We heard you loud and clear last year. Here, we already have new hand dryers and toilet seat covers inside locker rooms. In the Y, we're doing alarm system improvements. There'll be new lobby furniture coming this May. And so we're doing a feasibility study for other enhancements as well, but those dollars are being deployed, and they're going to keep being deployed to continue to improve the experience here. Finally, on recreation, we are modernizing how we operate, working with the department to make information about all of the amenities that we have across Baltimore County more accessible and known to all of our residents so that everyone has access to those. We're trying to come in alignment with both best practices and best-in-class recommendations, but also some legal requirements that we want to make sure that we are proceeding. We have incredible nature councils and recreation councils with whom we're working as we roll out some of these new changes, but really appreciate the opportunity to make sure that every kid in every community and every family has access to the incredible resources we have in our parks, in our athletic centers, and frankly with the programming that's out there. I think it's a really important thing for us to be doing. On the transportation front, I see Director DeAndrea Walker and her team is here tonight. We are investing in the roads and transit options our residents rely on. $40 million in this year's budget, including $3.5 for road safety, lots of road resurfacing and sidewalk improvements. Here we have over $200,000 for raised crosswalks at locations throughout District 4. If there are other places you want to see, you can certainly tell me and Councilman Jones tonight, or we'll connect you with DeAndrea and her team, and we can continue that conversation. We have the first comprehensive bike and ped plan in the county's history, which represents about 256 miles of projects. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars in this year's budget, including $50,000 this year for enhancements to the Red Run Trail. That was actually, I think, one of the issues that Councilman Jones raised when we were doing our budget review. As we look to the future, we are rolling out a new paver system. Oh, sorry, I missed the Towson Loop. We can go back. We have a loop system, which is putting over 150,000 riders. We also have made our county ride service absolutely free. We took away the cost for that. It's now also available on Saturdays. We want to try to make sure transit becomes more accessible across all of Baltimore County. We're going to talk about some of the transportation funding challenges in just a bit, though, and why that's a little bit harder. We are also rolling out our paver system. This goes back to the equity-based of finding out all the places where we need to do a better job of paving our roads. We have really gotten a good sense of what our roads are, and we want to continue to advocate for an equitable distribution of funding to meet those needs. So on the transportation side, part of the challenge, and paver is a great example. If we were to take all of Baltimore County's roadways and make them just fair condition, it would cost about $420 million. And so that's just on road resurfacing. That doesn't count sidewalks, that doesn't count bridge repair, that says nothing of expanding transit. We get two pots of money from the state of Maryland to help fund our transportation needs. One is the locally operated transit funding, or the LOTS funding. This is for things like County Ride and the Towson Loop. As you can see, we get about Montgomery County gets about 50 times more than we get in that funding. For perspective, this $1 million that we get covers just a fraction of the Towson Loop. So we don't have our services covered by the state. We're asking for increases there so that we can expand more transit options in District 4 and across Baltimore County. We also used to get, before 2009 and the recession, Baltimore County used to get $45 million a year for the road resurfacing, the bridge work, bike and ped investments. That was cut to about $14 million a year in 2009, and that funding has not been restored ever since. And so over that time, cumulatively, the difference is $450 million that the county has not gotten. We are in conversations again with state leadership as they're grappling with these larger questions on transportation, but we're asking them to try to restore us at least to the 2009 funding, because the truth is these projects have only gotten more expensive. Repaving a road, building a bridge is a lot more expensive in 2024 than it was in 2009. So hopefully we can also have some solutions there long term. We also heard a lot from our residents as we were in these meetings. In addition to the need to support our schools and have those ESOL teachers, we heard loud and clear about the need to be more engaged and present in supporting our new Americans in things like healthcare access. So we actually have a broader New Americans task force that is meeting. One of the issues that they raised was healthcare access. We are actively at the table supporting some of those options before us in the now ongoing Maryland General Assembly. We are building on that by supporting on Senate Bill 705. We are expediting the testing of the GBMC slides. We heard loud and clear that we need to do more and do better on testing those cold case sexual assault kits. And we have now, with the partnership of the police department, GBMC, and Deputy Administrator Rebecca Young, we have accelerated by several years what we thought we'd be able to do, and expect to have those test kits complete by the end of this year. We also heard loud and clear in these meetings that we needed to think about what else we could do to support victims of sexual assault and domestic violence, and so we have a working group there as well. Other investments, Security Square Mall. Speaker Jones, delegates from both 44 and 10, Senator Brooks, Senator Sidnor, we partnered to put state and local money together. So there's $30 million being invested to revitalize and reimagine security. We now have significant local control over some of the sites. We are working to bring a consultant to bear so that we can bring the appropriate private investment to the site, and we have other dollars to support some of the infrastructure needs there. This will work, I think, nicely and in tandem with the West Baltimore County Redevelopment Authority that was recently passed locally and signed into law. We are also using those ARPA dollars to help support and stand up a new Liberty Road Community Development Association. So there are lots of supports coming and in place to make sure that not just security, but that the entire area is successful for years to come. We haven't forgotten our seniors, who account for 25% of our population. Director Riley and her team, we keep doing things like No Senior Eats Alone. We created and sustained the Because program, where we are going in and helping seniors age in place. We are finishing finally our Woodlawn Senior Center expansion and renovation, and we also are doing significant dollars to our Woodlawn folks. We are also investing significantly in cultural institutions throughout the region, amenities and gems for all of us, including our Shock Trauma Center, where, unfortunately, we saw some of our own heroes be saved by their own actions, the actions of their peers, and frankly, having shock trauma there. But that's where the money's been going. I want to just give a quick overview. $4 billion sounds like a lot of money, but every year, Councilman Jones and his colleagues set basically the spending limit. It's called the Spending Affordability Committee, and they set a SAC guideline. This basically says, here's how much you can spend in the year ahead based on how much we expect our county to grow. I give my department heads target budgets as a result of that. And so last year, the numbers were a 4.79% growth factor, which meant we had $114 million of new money to spend that we hadn't spent on salaries or things before. Just for context, this year that number is actually slightly down. It's 4.36% growth over last year's budget. When you actually break that number down, that $100 million or so, where we've invested it is our most important resource, our people, our employees. 42% went to salary increases, most of which are negotiated with our friends in labor. 31% went to that school increase that we talked about. And the bulk of that 31% were for things like salaries. I mean, there were those new teachers, but also the rest of it went to salaries. 18% went to healthcare benefit increases. Again, investing in our people. 5% went to CCBC, both supporting that College Promise program and the employees there. But only 4% went to anything really new beyond that. So let's dive into that 4%. So we heard that there were concerns about school crossing guards, and so we both increased salaries and also had a contractor help us fill some vacancies, both to help make sure our kids could cross safely, but also to free up time and resources from our police department. We created what we think is a nation-leading debt relief fund of $500,000 for our county employees. So if you have student debt, we're actually, again, further investing in our people. We are investing dollars for additional turnout gear for firefighters and a second set for our volunteer firefighters. We have a new medical duty officer program in the fire department this year. We know that emergency room wait times are very long. This program is meant to help move our deliveries faster so that our medics are able to serve our communities better. And we're moving forward with investing in an Office of Agriculture since we have a strong, robust farming history here in the county as well. That was the new stuff. As we look ahead, there are a lot of challenges. I mean, I talked about some of the challenges that Governor Moore and the General Assembly is facing. And Governor Moore said famously at a Maryland Association of Counties gathering that when the state catches a cold, local governments catch a flu. And so we are seeing already between things like CAID and transportation, some of the downhill impacts of what the state is trying to grapple with. And so with an uncertain state budget picture, we're trying to figure out what that looks like. I'm very proud that we effectively deployed our $160 million of ARPA funding, but that also has ended for us. It's ended for our school system. And so, not having those additional dollars, we have to be more diligent and more, I think, responsible in how we continue to make investments. We also are seeing, as I'm sure many of our families are, increases for things like healthcare costs, increases in the cost of doing business. And we're seeing that both on the operational side, but we're also seeing that on the capital side. So as we think about things like capital, inflation is real, supply chain issues are real, and it really has been a challenge to keep our projects on time and on budget. We have needs exceeding $300 million just for our known county priorities: capital renovations, rec and park centers, roads, infrastructure projects. We also have that $3 billion roadmap for our schools, which also those schools are becoming more expensive. So when we set our $3 billion budget 4 or 5 years ago, guess what? Those schools have become 20, 30, 40% more expensive. So we're grappling with that. And, all that is to say that we're committed to meeting the promises that we've made. I want to be transparent that it will be very hard to tackle big new projects if we're going to also meet our prior commitments. And so our focus and our emphasis this year is sustaining the progress we've started. And if there are other needs, other smaller needs, a road resurfacing, a crosswalk, community-based needs, we are open to that on both the operating and the capital side. But I will just submit that, I've always been honest and transparent that we still are waiting to see how the state will resolve its budget this year. It's not going to be giving us more money this year. If anything, it will be less. And then we also want to make sure that we fulfill the promises we've made. So with that, our timeline is we're doing our town halls. I think we have 2 more after tonight. We'll be doing these through March. April 11th, I'll be before Councilman Jones and his colleagues to give the official submission. Throughout April and May, they will be doing their reviews, and then they have to adopt the budget by the end of May. Typically, it's done before that time, but looking forward to working with Julian and his colleagues on that. But more importantly, we're both looking forward to hearing from you tonight. We appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the opportunity to give the presentation. So thank you very much. I think we're going to have Alonza come back up, or Mandy from Community Engagement, and we'll give some instructions. Are you coming up or are you doing it down there? Thank you. Sure.
All right, everyone, so we have 2 microphones here on each side of the room. You can please feel free to make your way to the mic if you are looking to testify this evening. Again, we ask that you limit your testimony to 90 seconds. There is a clock over here that will count down for you, and as soon as that 90 seconds is over, it will buzz. We ask you to please wrap your comments from there, but we will get started this evening, and I will let you all take it away.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jeffrey Budnitz. I'm speaking on a couple issues tonight. First is requesting additional funding for DPWT and for DEPS for addressing waterway obstructions that result in localized flooding, and also the requirement for first responders to come out. I'd also like to ask additional funding for Baltimore County Property Management related to the numerous assets that they have to maintain and care for. And in my Lake Roland Nature Council capacity, shocking, I'm making a request both for the department for funding under Bob Smith's leadership regarding a best practice agency, but also the continued effort of your administration to mitigate the impact on nature councils, councils that represent support and stewardship for 2,600 acres in Baltimore County that serve the residents from across the county. So I have a letter for you, and that concludes my comments.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I think you've made. The vine's a little loud now. Let me try a different one.
It's like a bad penny.
No, it's good. It's good.
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's good.
Commitment to the cause is what I meant. Good. There you go. I think we'll allow that personal point of privilege, so thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hello, my name is Susan Bollinger, and I am the president of the Baltimore County Volunteer Firefighters Association. I would like to thank the county executive and Councilman Jones for all your support the last 5 years. I have been to each of these town hall meetings, so I'll try to keep my points brief. The Volunteer Fire Service strives to partnership with our career counterparts to provide the best fire, EMS, and rescue services to the citizens of Baltimore County. Like all career and volunteer departments, we are struggling to maintain our membership numbers. So we are trying to provide for increasing call volumes with lower membership numbers. To do that, we need to have the proper training, equipment, and support to accomplish this mission safely, efficiently, and in a more sustainable manner. To accomplish this goal, we need these basic items. We need funding of our basic expenses to include fuel, maintenance, insurance, utilities, and other operating expenses. We need an increase in the ambulance replacement capital fund so that we can replace 4 units a year. This is a must due to the call volume, mileage, and wear and tear we are putting on these units. This is our #1 service to the citizens, and we need to have safe and reliable vehicles to provide that service. We need to get new units in place so that no citizen has to wait extended times to get a transport unit. We need new capital funds in the loan fund to replace aging engines, trucks, and squads. Also funds to help our companies maintain and update their greatest asset, their facilities. We have a great combination system of career and volunteer companies. We look forward to working with you to find ways to fix the understaffing and underfunding issues that have been raised in recent studies. Most of all, we look forward to serving the citizens of Baltimore County. With collaboration, we know we can move this service forward in a manner that will benefit every citizen.
Thank you, Madam President. And duly noted that I appreciate you all also rising so we can sort of count it together. So thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Good seeing you. Thank you, everyone. We didn't hear from the fire department. We can go.
Good evening. Hello, Mr. County Executive and Councilman Jones. My name is Lene Ray, and I work very closely with court-appointed special advocates of Baltimore County, otherwise known as CASA of Baltimore County, a nonprofit that works one-on-one with children and youth from infancy to young adulthood while they are in foster care. FYI, we know there are other organizations referred to as CASA. We are the nonprofit serving children in foster care. I'm here to thank you and Councilman Jones for working with us on an ongoing basis to support the services that are urgently needed for our older youth in foster care. I'm also here to express my personal support for county funding for CASA's Youth Engagement Specialist position. As you know, foster care is for children and youth who are removed from their homes due to abuse or neglect or the death of parents and guardians. Through no fault of their own, kids in foster care must depend on all of US to help support them during a heartbreaking time, living in foster homes or group homes until reunited with their family or until they reach adulthood. Court-appointed special advocates is actually written in Maryland's law, so it's the only nonprofit authorized to provide individual mentoring and advocacy as part of the child welfare and court processes to foster youth. We work in partnership with DSS and the courts, but we are separate, complementing their work. I have been involved with both CASA and foster youth for more than over 10 years, both here and out of state. Youth engagement specialist position basically assists youth with their preparatory for as they enter adulthood. It is very important for this position because unlike DSS, we continue to service them and assist them with their needs even when they age out of care. So I think it's very important. Thank you for listening to my remarks, and you all have a lovely evening.
Thank you for all you do with CASA, and we're thrilled to have both CASAs represented tonight at the town hall, so it's great.
Hello, my name is Daniel Bollinger. I spent 31.5 years in the greatest career one could ask for, the Baltimore County Fire Department. I've spent 43 years in the volunteer service as well, many as a chief officer. I am currently the president of the Glendon Volunteer Fire Department. I'd like to thank the county executive and the council for their commitment to the volunteers over the last 5 years. As times are very difficult in the fire service, funding is crucial to our success. We currently have a ladder truck which is 27 years old and is in dire need of replacement. When we purchased the truck, the life expectancy was 20 years. That was later extended to 25. Due to financial constraints, we have kept our ladder truck an additional 2 years, and if we order a replacement today, we'll take at least 3 more years to get it. This truck provides crucial service to the citizens in Northwest Corridor. We have done our due diligence and got that replacement approved from the Fire Department administration. With that being said, the amount of funding that is available for the volunteer companies is lacking immensely. I am asked that the administration look into changing those financial requirements to make it easier and more realistic to acquire these major pieces of apparatus. The Baltimore County Firefighters Association volunteer has a loan fund that can loan 75% of Baltimore County's cost for a new piece of apparatus. With the cost of ladder trucks quickly approaching $2 million, that 25% is a huge number. We understand the loan fund would like to decrease the percentage. Even a 5% decrease in down payment would be a significant number and a great help to the volunteers. We at Glendon have additional constraints as we need to pick a unit that'll fit into our existing facility. This pushes our cost above Baltimore County price, which means more funds we need to provide. We can't possibly do enough fundraising to replace our truck with the amount we need. As you know, in the fire service, a truck in our area is crucial to the response times in the Reisterstown and Glendon area. Thank you.
My name is Mark Schaub. I live in Reisterstown, and I volunteer at the National Aquarium in Baltimore. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in favor of Baltimore County's continued support of the aquarium, which is Maryland's most visited attraction and a powerful economic driver for our metropolitan area. In 2022, the most recent year for which I have numbers, the aquarium's total economic impact of $430 million supported 3,400 local jobs with a labor income of over $150 million. As a volunteer exhibit guide, I see the educational and cultural impact the aquarium has for students and residents in our community, as well as the benefit of many of its programs for our natural resources here in the Chesapeake Bay area. By the way, if anyone here is looking for a great volunteer experience, the aquarium is a wonderful place for you to commit a morning or an afternoon per week. I really enjoy it, and I learn something new every time I'm there. I want to thank County Executive Olszewski and Councilman Jones for their support of the National Aquarium and to respectfully request that the county continue to support the aquarium in the upcoming budget so that our residents, students, and businesses can continue to benefit from a world-class aquarium in our backyard.
Hi, good evening, County Executive. I'm Councilman Julian Jones. My name is Darwin Lopez. I am an immigrant from Honduras. I've been living here in the United States for 27 years. Same time I've been living here in Baltimore County. I pay my taxes. I am a member, I'm a leader of CASA. Since I have been living here, I have never had health care. I'm sure that it's not the first time you guys heard this. That immigrants like me don't have the possibility to get health care because of our immigrant status. Baltimore County is suffering a lack of access to health care that is affecting its residents' health and livelihood. For uninsured and underinsured people in Baltimore County, there are few places to get care, or those that are offered care are fewer offered care to people who are not yet permanent residents or citizens. As a result, many people travel outside the county for care or go without health care altogether like me. We need county legislation and budgeting that will establish a primary and preventive health care program for community members, regardless of immigration status, that ensures access to locally oriented health centers, programs, and services. Residents have waited too long for this. I need it, and the immigrant community need it. I look forward for any solution to address this concern. Thank you.
Good evening, County Executive and Councilman Jones. I'm here tonight. My name is Danny Blount. I'm a commissioner for the Veterans Affairs for Baltimore County, which I'm proud to represent. I'm glad we got it started back again. So I'm here today to ask you a couple of questions. As you may know, our county has the third largest veterans population in Maryland, with over 42,000 veterans calling Baltimore County home. I ask for your support of two key veterans initiatives going on right now in Baltimore County. On Monday, the commission brought together key stakeholders from the federal government, Maryland Department of Health, County Health Department, and other veteran service organizations to discuss bringing a federal veteran suicide prevention program to Baltimore County. Mr. County Executive, we understand that your administration will be deciding this week if the county will participate in this program. This is a 100% federally funded program that our veterans and their families need. The program will save the lives of Baltimore County veterans, and we urge you to bring it to our community. Secondly, the Commission has partnered with the County Health Department and is bridging the digital divide through the Computers for Veterans program, which was excellent. It started last Friday, and we're doing it again this Friday, and there's another date coming up as well. We thank you for that. This program provides qualified veterans free laptops, computers. This program for free laptops, computers, and these on second of the 3 weekly distributions will be this Friday at CCBC in Essex. For veterans in the audience, for more information on this program, you can find it at www.baltimorecountymaryland.gov. These programs will work to improve the lives of veterans, not only in this district, but across our county. I thank you for your continued support for our commission and for the veterans we serve. Thank you again.
Thank you for your service, Danny, not just on the commission, but thank you for your service to our country as well. I appreciate you, and to all of our veterans.
Thank you, Danny.
Hello, my name is Angel Salazar. I go to Timber Grove Elementary School. Can you paint our school walls?
Because it looks dirty.
It looks like dirty. Can you fix all damages in our school?
And
Create
a new playground for kids.
a new playground for kids.
Do you have pictures for me? Come on up. Come on over here. All right, let's thank everybody. Angel, thank you again. We're gonna work on this. So we don't control the school system directly, but they're good partners of ours, and we do fund them, as we were talking about tonight. So, what grade are you in?
First grade.
First grader. Wow. Well, my daughter is in second grade in the county, so I'm going to tell her that you came out tonight. I'm going to share this with her, but I'm really proud of you. Thank you for being an advocate for your community. Do a high five? All right. Can I keep this? Yeah? And I think we have Angel's contact information. Is that right? Did we have it? Okay, great.
Wow, how are we supposed to follow that? Woo! Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Ellen Manuel. I'm up here tonight asking you to fully support the Hippodrome's Educational Foundation's request this evening. I have the privilege to teach in Baltimore County Public Schools. I'm a high school theater teacher. I absolutely love my job and just the joy that it brings to me every day and the joy that I see in my students. What I wanted to do is just firmly attest to the work that they do at the Hippodrome Educational Foundation and just talk about how much it changes our lives. For example, my students, the Hippodrome Educational Foundation gives my students so many opportunities that they have not yet experienced. The Wiz came through for their national tour in Baltimore City, which is where, it started and everything. And my students actually were given the opportunity by the Hippodrome Educational Foundation to experience an invited dress rehearsal. That changed their lives. Some of them have never seen a professional theater production before. Some of them have been watching The Wiz since they were children, as many of us have. Some of them, and it was just like, Ms. Manuel, like, we get it. We see what you're trying to explain to us just by putting together all of those pieces. It also changes our own lives in the sense that they provide us professional
professional development opportunities at the new M&T Exchange facility that they just renovated. I'm going to let you also jump in, another educator.
Okay, this last 20 seconds, it's going to be good.
We can reset the clock. There are two of you, so it's all right.
I'm from Deer Park Middle Magnet School, and we also have had the opportunity to partner with the Hippodrome Foundation. They've provided us complimentary access to master classes in person as well as virtual opportunities. We also got to attend the Wiz. We saw Hamilton last year as well, Beauty and the Beast. So they've provided opportunities for our students that usually are underrepresented in the arts to give them that passion and vision of things that they can look at for career choices. We've had students to cry at the end of performances because they realize this is something that I can try to pursue as a career. And so we just thank you for that opportunity of allowing the funding to go forward with the Hippodrome Foundation, and we hope that you will consider it for the fiscal year of 2025.
So great. Thank you for what you both do for our kids, and thank you for advocating tonight.
Thank you so much.
Good evening. I am Wilmer. I'm a young member of CASA. I'm here to ask you to create a budget to establish an Office of Immigration Affairs with staff and budget to support more than 100,500 immigrants living in the country. Most immigrants are school children, and right now schools are overridden with immigrants that can't get the full experience since normal schools can't teach with people they can't communicate.
Thanks, Wilbur.
Good evening. My name is Ronald Gordon, and I'm a Randallstown resident. And I have, first I want to say thanks for everything that you all are doing. I really hope this comes to be in the future, and it's great for the community. But I do have two concerns that directly affect where I live in the Randallstown area. I'm over on Greens Lane, and I'm concerned about Greens Lane, that absence of sidewalk between the 8700 block and the 8800 block. We actually lost a resident that got hit by a car, unfortunately. And the other concern I have is the Greens Lane project, that STEM center that was proposed, that directly affects my property. I'm right beside it. So I'd like to, if you could shed some light on what's going on with that, and also, do you have plans to complete that sidewalk? Because so many kids, so many residents walk up and down that street, and it is so dangerous. I've seen so many mishaps or near misses. I don't want to see another fatality on my street, so please help. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know that I mentioned DeAndrea Walker, so DeAndrea, if you want to just wave, she and her team can talk sidewalks. We do have a connectivity program for all communities, so if anyone is interested, we have a sort of an analysis that we do, and Lauren Buckler is our deputy over there, so they can talk to you about the sidewalk connectivity program that we have. I think Director Smith is also here on the STEAM Center. What I will say is, whatever we do at that site, we want to make sure we're doing it in partnership with the community. So I think we've been sort of reevaluating some options, candidly, because we want to make sure that whatever we do is in concert with what the community needs are. And so I think we're moving towards an updated sort of solution based on community feedback, but I'll make sure that you connect with Director Smith as well. So thank you.
The Baltimore County Fire Department responds to 150,000 incidents each year. On the average, we meet 4 people each time we arrive, sometimes the whole community. Over the course of a 4-year election cycle, we will likely meet and greet the entire population of Baltimore County 3 times. Fire and EMS responds to your constituents' calls, often at the worst times of their lives. Even when the results are not as great as we would like, the community thanks us and supports us. We, the fire department, are the human faces of your administration that everyone sees in person in their homes. Your support of the fire department is critical for each of those to be happy and positive about life in Baltimore County, as that is the closest reflection your voters will see as to how well your administration is performing. The lack of funding results in difficulty staffing apparatus, overstressing responders, and delayed care. This results in interaction that is not as positive as it should be. Your residents will feel that you are not fulfilling their most critical need to keep them alive and safe. They will be under your impression that you may be failing. The fire and EMS is the most critical function of Baltimore County government. It needs to be fully funded. There is no reason we are not an ISO Class 1 fire department other than budget cutting. In 2015, the volunteer EMS transport companies authorized Baltimore County to bill on our behalf for transports, billing approximately $15 million a year for our services. With the commitment to reimburse us for all reasonable expenses, we are still waiting for this to happen. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I don't really need a microphone, but we'll go with this. You all know me. I'm Bernard Jones. I'm the station chief at the Liberty Road Volunteer Fire Company. Biggest thing that I would like to ask is for support with regards to our recruitment programs throughout Baltimore County's Volunteer Firemen's Association. With our biggest issue being recruitment and retention, we need some funds to actually go that direction. Liberty Road Volunteer Fire Company, we're about 2.6 miles, give or take a couple feet or so, that direction, and in Randallstown, and not many people know we still exist, despite me making the fire station look much prettier. We killed the tree out front, made ourselves more visible, and we have more community activities. So the biggest thing I would like to see is that you all work on finding a way to invest in our recruitment and retention activities for all of the volunteer companies, especially mine. Thank you.
Marcus, are you representing the chief tonight? So if you want to just, I know you guys are probably already connected, but if, Cap, if you have any specific ideas or thoughts that we can put towards those efforts that we should be thinking about, let's just make sure we get it all part of, we'll be meeting with the BCVFA and the chief before we finalize as well, but if you have specific ideas, we'd love to hear them.
Thank you, Bernard.
Good evening. Thank you for coming and allowing us to get the information we needed for the community. My name is Robin Ballard, and I'm here on behalf of the Twin Lake community in Windsor, Maryland. We have been the other side of our community, Cedar Gardens, have been using our road on Vargas Road, which is connected. They've used our road since 2020. They just repaired that road February the 18th. We were promised by Cedar Gardens that they would repair our road. Our road the pipes have been busted because of the traffic that has been going through there. Our community only handles 44 residents. They have over 400 houses on that side of the road. The pipes have been busted. The road has also been, has sinked, and our houses actually been shaken where there's cracks in our walls. We're asking them to make sure they repair our roads, and if after they have finished the bridge. They have finished the bridge is open. Residents on the other side are still using Vargas Road, and they promise to repair it, and we were just wondering, who should we call if they don't start completing the road and stop the traffic?
Is that you, D'Andrea? Is that a DPWT thing? Is it a PAI thing? Well, you know what, Director Gutwald, why don't you stand up? I don't get to point you out very often, so Pete Gutwald is our head of permits and inspections, so we're happy to connect you with Pete, and we'll make sure that we have the appropriate follow-up with you as you work through that.
Good evening, County Executive Olszewski and Councilman Jones. I appreciate your presentation, and I know you said that you were looking for some additional state funding for transportation, but I currently live on Liberty Road and have lived on Liberty Road for over 40 years, and I'm asking in your consideration, would you please consider providing a loop or some form of transportation for the Randallstown community to possibly have better access to grocery stores? I know that we've talked about grocery stores coming to Liberty Road, and I know people are working on that, but currently there is limited grocery stores on Liberty Road, and I would appreciate your consideration for the upcoming fiscal year. Thank you.
Buenas noches, Lucía Islas, Presidente del Comité Latino de Baltimore.
Good evening, Lucia Islas, President of Comité Latino of Baltimore.
Muy corto, pero 4 peticiones que tengo el día de hoy.
I have 4 brief requests.
Primero, por favor, ponga un poquito de su presupuesto para los transportes eléctricos.
Please allocate some of the funding for electric vehicles.
Segundo, no se olvide en apoyarnos para acceso a un seguro médico para los inmigrantes.
Please don't forget to support access to health care for immigrants.
Denos la oportunidad de tener el centro de bienvenida para los inmigrantes. Eso es lo más importante.
Please allow us to have a welcome center for immigrants. That is my most important request.
Y no se le olvide, nadie ha llamado a mi hijo para el puesto de los parques.
And also a small reminder, nobody has called my son for the position at the parks.
Did you remember?
Director Bob Smith.
They cut the hours. I'm still waiting. Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that covers our speakers tonight. So I'm going to give the councilman a chance to give any closing remarks. I'll give a few closing remarks, and then we can wrap up for the night.
Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and participating, and thank you very much, County Executive Olszewski, for coming out and making these budget town halls possible throughout Baltimore County, especially here in District 4. So we thank you again for all you do for us, and thank you all for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. Thank you again for everyone. If you would like to provide additional feedback, it is on the. I do read all of the emails. I read all of the feedback. I promise. I take notes on the speakers. We go through it all. But really appreciate your presence and your partnership here tonight. So have a good night. Thank you.